Hey everyone. So today is not going to be a fun video. This video regards one of my closest friends on Discord, who recently has just been a jerk and very toxic to me and some of my friends in the past. He is a popular Nara One YouTuber in the community, so I do expect to lose some subscribers from this video, but I just need to talk about this a little bit because it bothers me. Um, So the person in question is N1 Shadow MC, who is now known on Discord as Arctic Blitzy. Um, he was my first friend on Discord. In fact, he was the one who convinced me to get Discord in the first place. When we started out, we were conversing on email, and he's like, "This sucks. This absolutely sucks. Let's get Discord." So I did, and yeah. Um, when we first met was around the beginning of 2025. We played Narrow One in Minecraft all the time, and a lot of my early Minecraft videos were done with him, like all my Skyblock and Sky Layers and Sky Chest and all those series that actually did pretty well. Those are played with Arctic Blitzy. So he was a really close friend, and in fact, in 2025, I messaged him more than anyone else. I we messaged every day for a long time. As time went on, I don't know. I noticed he was like becoming more and more like a toxic person just to talk to and communicate with. And it's not so much like I don't know how to say this. It's not that he was like being really mean and stuff. It was just that he wasn't like being nice. It's like instead of being mean, he had just like stopped being nice. He was just like I don't know. So it was like every conversation, it just seemed like it was all about how great he was at editing, or how great he was at Bed Wars, or how great he was at Narrow One, or whatever, or how bad I was at something, or how sucky my friends were because they weren't him. That's what the conversations felt like. So maybe it had always been that way, but I don't think it was. So anyway, let me interject here and say that I'm not a delicate person. I can handle joking around and sarcastic humor and teasing and being made fun of and insult trading and all that. In fact, I love it. Making fun of people is really fun, and sarcasm is like it's my favorite type of humor personally. But with Shadow, it's like that's all there was. Um, I was either being insulted in some like runaround sort of way, or hearing him brag about how rich he is, how many mice he owns. Like, bro owns four mice. It's like, give the money to charity, Jesus Christ, etc. And it's not like I can't deal with that type of attitude from someone. It's just that I don't want to. It's not pleasant being always told how great he is and how much better he is at everything that I'm not. Like, that's not an enjoyable person to be around. And back in early 2025, he was like one of my only a couple friends on Discord. But now I have hundreds of friends, and most of them treat me a lot better than Shadow has ever treated me. So for this reason, I'm cutting him off. Now you may be wondering why I'm making such a big deal out of this. Like, friends grow apart all the time, and it's no big deal, and it seems like I'm making a big deal out of this. I'm making a big deal out of this because I want him to change. I want him to see this video, and I want him to change. Like, his only real problems is he has, like, an inflated ego and, like, a bit of an elitist mentality. Like, he thinks he's better than most people. And I think he should try and work on his ego and his mentality and stuff. I think those are things you can overcome. I've been there. There's been times where I've thought, like, I'm so great. I'm such a freaking perfect human being. And I'm just above everyone else. And I'm sure this video comes across a little bit like that. But you can get over that. You should get over that. That's not a way you want to act, and it makes you disliked, and it's just an unpleasant way. The other things he needs to work on is some of the things he says as jokes or in the heat of the moment. Some of them are not right. Like a few months back when I was arguing with him about tech, he made some. This one's tough, but to me, the comments he made were extremely demeaning, and they were borderline. I don't want to say like racist, but that's what they felt like because they were based solely on my skin color and where I live. To put it into simple terms, he was saying that I was dumb, like I was just stupid because I'm a white American. which, yeah, that's coming from the stereotype that, like, Americans are dumb, but he was saying I was dumb solely because I'm a white American. And he was also going on about, like, white privilege and how I'll have better chances of getting into a university when I'm in college than he will because he's Chinese. Like, bro, that's not even true. He's a freaking millionaire. His parents are super rich. I'm poor. I probably can't even go to college. I don't have the money for it. So, no. But I know that's not true racism because it's just like applying an overused stereotype, but it hits hard when he's saying that I'm dumb, like I'm a dumb person because my skin is white. Like, what the hell is wrong? Um to call someone dumb, like, based off solely the country they live in and the color of their skin, that's an absolute garbage thing to say to someone, even as a joke. And I don't even believe he intended it as a joke. While I'm talking about this, he's also made some comments about girls, especially his girlfriend, that actually disturbed me, such as, like, I'm going to punish her real bad, and if she misbehaves, she'll get the sandal. And although I believe he meant these as jokes, they're not funny. They are really not funny. Um, Especially, like, saying you'll punish your girlfriend for doing something you don't like and stuff like that. That's messed up. That is really messed up. And from personal experience, that is deeply fucking messed up. So, and again, I do believe he meant these as jokes, but in the context of other conversations I've had with him and his personality as a whole, these some of the stuff he says just leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. And now in all this, I'm not pretending to be some saint. Like, I lost my temper with him multiple times, and I said some dumb things. I made some dumb jokes. I said a few things that weren't true. I exaggerated some things. He might bring those things up to get back at me for this video. I would not put it past him. So I do say I'm sorry to those of the involved. I did make some mistakes. I especially feel bad about the things I said at the time about Valora Thorn, fellow YouTuber. I did a Q&A with her a while back. At the time, I had been led to believe that she was a hacker and a bad person, and I was worried about her hacking my accounts and leaking information about me. These ideas were absolutely dumb things to say, and I was not going off enough information. I was listening to basically just one or two sources. Valora is one of my closest friends now, and I hope things don't change because of what I said in the past. Back then, Shadow continually attacked Valora. Like, he called her a trash editor, a horrible person, a hacker, claiming he had to go into the databases to save another person from her hacking. Like, no, that is garbage lies. You don't go into the databases. That's not something you can do. Again, I believe a lot of these attacks came from Shadow being jealous that she was a close friend of mine. Possibly closer than him at the time, which I think he realized, and he was mad about that, and he's done that to many of my friends. He's insulted them to me, and been like, they're trash, just because I think he's jealous. And even if everything about Valora that people were saying was true at that time, which it wasn't, some of the things Shadow said during that situation were deeply troubling, like, deeply messed up stuff. The final thing I want to say is the constant critiques from Shadow. Critiques are great. When someone criticizes you, you learn from that, you apply that to make yourself better, but he does it wrong. See, when someone, like, one of my friends shows me a YouTube video they made, I generally go with the 90% rule. I point out everything I like about the video, the 90% of it that I love, that I really like. And then at the end, I tell them that last 10% is the stuff I would change, the advice I give them, to make the video better. It's a great rule because it allows you to give someone advice without making them feel bad and acting like you're, like, above them and so much better. You just point out everything you like, and just that little 10% at the end is like, oh, you could do this, you could tweak that. With Shadow, it was the... I just get pissed off thinking about this. But it's the opposite. It's like everything I do is bad compared to how great he is at everything. YouTube videos, editing, gaming, talking, just, like, everything he does, he thought was perfect. And that pisses me off, bro. Like, I'm not saying I'm good at YouTube even. I'm not good at most things. But the way he treats... Now again, I want to reiterate that I've dealt with this type of behavior a lot in people. Especially people I play online with. You know, sore losers, overinflated egos, toxic behaviors, jealousy. Those are all normal, spoiled teenagers gaming online. Like, what do you expect from us? We're dumb. But the reason I'm cutting Shadow out specifically is because of how constant it is. Like I said before, I have other options for friends, and I don't like feeling demeaned and lectured and just hearing him brag in every conversation with a guy who's younger than me and just extremely entitled from like a rich upbringing and stuff. Yo, this is post-editing Studio 13 cutting in for a second. The other point I wanted to add is that Shadow used AI to write and voice multiple songs which he posted, and then he claimed they were not AI, and then vehemently denied the claims when I confronted him about them. He assured me they were not AI written. I have 100% proof from multiple sites and lyric testers and AI chatbots that his lyrics were 100% written by AI, and I've retested those lyrics just recently when the AIs have gotten a lot better, and I still got 100% that he wrote his songs using AI, and then denied it. The last thing I want to say before I end this video is that I'm not making this video to make drama. I'm not making this video for some cheap views off like some Narrow One drama. That is not what I'm doing. It may seem like I'm doing that, especially if this does get views, which I don't expect it to, but that's not why I'm doing it. I'm making this video for me, just to explain my reasoning. I'm not making it for my audience, I'm making it for me. I've sent over 13,000 messages back and forth with Shadow over 2025. We were really close, so it is hard for me to cut him off, and this video was basically made like in the selfish pursuit, if you will, to justify blocking him completely, to kind of understand it myself. And finally, I need to say this, that if Shadow responds to this video in any way, possibly leaking conversations or any information about me, don't necessarily believe it. I'll be completely open with my messaging history with Shadow, and about certain jokes and things I've said, or things I wrote in anger, that could be seen in a negative light. I haven't said the smartest things at times, but I will say that any information he thinks he knows about me, that includes like my age, my height, my race, the location of where I live, and my real name, are untrue. Anything he might say about these things are lies. He does not know any personal information about me. I also want to say that just because I personally do not like him, or intend to ever speak with him again, that does not mean you should feel the same. If you like him, and if you get along with him, don't listen to me. Continue being his friend. Also, I have to say this. Please don't be mean to him about any of the topics discussed in this video, or attack him on Discord or YouTube, or unsubscribe from him, or anything about that. Everyone makes mistakes. I'm not trying to get him attacked. I just wanted to say how I felt about this matter. Yeah. So I really appreciate you guys, everyone for listening to this rant. So good.